Hey guys, my name is Pierce. Welcome to Cloud on Tap, and I'm just going to walk you through a simple reporting demo. We'll walk through the high level basics of it, and obviously there's a lot more you can do than what we'll cover in this 20 or so minutes today. But it'll be a good introduction, and then obviously you can just grow from there. So I'm just going to start out by I think my screen is already sharing, so I'm going to start walking you through some of the basics. Um, and we can take a look at how these work. So the first thing I'm going to do when I am setting up a report in Salesforce is I am going to navigate to the Reports tab. Once I click in there, you have a lot of different options. You can look through different reports that you already have created in your system. You can look through some different folders that you have, and we'll take a minute here shortly to just kind of go through that structure and how those work and how you can share and view reports. But the first thing that we're going to look at is actually building out a report. So in order to do that, I'm going to go up into the New Reports button in the top right-hand corner here, and I'm just going to click on that. Once I do that, it's going to take me to a section where I can choose what type of report I want to create. So you can see a whole list here where you can scroll down and basically see every opportunity type that's in your system. Or you can look on the left-hand side here and kind of narrow down by that type of report. So let's say I wanted to create an opportunities report and I want to look at a pipeline of all of my deals. I'm going to click into opportunities here, and I'm going to get a narrowed down list of what is available. So I'll click on just opportunities for right now. We're going to build out a simple pipeline report and just see how that works. So I'm going to click on that option, click continue, and I'm going to be taken right into an opportunities report. Now, the first thing I'm going to do anytime I create a report in Salesforce is I'm just going to make sure that everything is kind of at a base level and ready to go before I start narrowing down what I want to see. So the first thing is I'm always going to make sure that this little checkbox is active in the top right hand corner. That's just going to say basically anytime I change a filter or add a value, it's going to update the report live right in front of my eyes. So I can uncheck that. And what that means is even if I were to change a filter here, it's not going to update anything for me. So if I check that box, you can see now the report will change in front of my eyes. The second thing I always like to do is click into my filters here, and I always like to make sure that I have no filters to start with. So I'm going to look at all opportunities, all time, any status, any probability. I'm just going to make sure I have a good full view of everything so that I can narrow it down from there. Now, from here, I could go in and add some filters, but the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back into this outline tab. And that's going to control what I'm actually seeing on this report as far as these columns. You can see that each column we have added here is displayed on this report. So owner role is first, and it's first right here. Now, I have the ability to completely edit these. I can remove certain fields if I would like. So let's say I wanted to remove some fields to start with. All I'm going to have to do is click this little X right beside the column name. And you can see that that's going to take owner role right off of the report here. I can remove any of these fields that I would like just by clicking the little X here. I'm going to clean up this report and make it a lot more simple. Now you can see as I'm removing those, it's making this report smaller, easier to read, things like that. Now, let's say that there is some really important information that I do want to add back into this report, or it was never on the report in the first place. All I have to do is search for it in this column section. I'm going to look for type, and I can go ahead and just add that right in. So you can see now type is the last field displayed on my report. It's also pretty easy to move these fields around. It's all drag and drop. So if you wanted to make type more of a visible field closer to the beginning of the report, all I have to do is drag this closer to the top, and I can see that that's going to move it on the report here as well. I'm going to put opportunity name up at the very top. That's the first field I want to see. And again, it's going to reflect on the report. Now, another thing that I want to show you guys is how you can group based off of fields you have in Salesforce and data you have in Salesforce. So let's say I wanted to take every opportunity or every deal in my system and I wanted to split it up by the stage that it's in or where it's at in the pipeline. All I have to do is select that field called stage. And instead of leaving it down here in columns, I'm going to drag it up to this group section here. So I'm going to drag it and drop it there. And what that's going to do is it's going to create little groups on the report that show every opportunity broken up by what stage it's in. So you're going to see all of your prospecting in one section, all of your qualification, all the way down to closed one, and they're all going to be split out by those sections. Now, one thing to note when you are building reports in Salesforce is if you think there's a lot of data missing here, don't freak out. Don't worry about that. Basically, when you're in the report builder itself, it's just going to show you a small sample of your data. So right now we're seeing 20 total records, but in reality, there are more than that in this org. Once I'm happy with how this report looks, I can go ahead and add some filters to it to start to narrow down and see the specific subset of data that I would like to see. So let's say I wanted to look at all of my opportunities, but I don't want to see anything that is closed lost. I don't want to see any of those dead deals that don't matter anymore. I'm going to go into my filters here and I'm just going to add a filter. So closed lost is a stage. I don't want to see that stage. So I'm going to select stage and I'm going to filter off of that field specifically. So you're going to choose your operator first. And if I don't want to see anything that's closed lost, I'm just going to choose to see anything with a stage that is not equal to closed lost. Just going to check that box. I could check multiple if I want, but that's the only filter I want to add on here for right now. And I can click apply. Now, another thing I could do if I wanted to is I could add a time frame to this report. So right now I am seeing all of my deals all time, but if I wanted to, I could say, maybe I want to see anything that has a close date and I could pick a date range. Or I could even use this relative date section to say, I want to see anything with a close date that is, you know, last week or this year or whatever that might be. I can just add that filter, and when I do that and click apply, it's going to only show me reports that have a close date of this year. Now, if you do that and none of your data shows, what that means is that there are no opportunities that meet this criteria. So what that means is that we don't have any opportunities in this org for this year. So I'm going to take that filter off and you're going to see your data pop back up. Once I feel like this report is ready and I've got it looking how I want and I've got the filters how I want them, I'm going to go in and add a report chart. What that does is it just gives you the ability to get a good visual on this data that you're representing in this report. So in order to do that, I'm just going to click this add chart button at the top of the page. And you're going to see it's going to create a default chart for you. You can edit this chart. Not everybody likes the way the default chart looks. So instead, I'm going to go into chart properties in the top right-hand corner here. And let's say, this is a pipeline report. So I want to see a funnel of all of these stages and how many opportunities are in each. So I'm going to click funnel here. And I can title this report if I want to. I could customize things. I could show values, show percentages, things like that, if you would like to. And then when you're done, just click outside of it and you can see a kind of a key to that chart. What stage, what color represents each stage, things like that. Now, you can get more customized with these report charts if you're actually building out a dashboard in Salesforce. So that's the next thing I'm going to show you. And we'll hop right into that. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and save this report. So I'm going to call this sample pipeline report. And we'll use this same report when we're building out that dashboard. I'm going to click save and run. And then the last thing I'm going to do is choose what folder I want to put it in. For right now, I'm going to keep it in private, but we'll talk about that in just a minute here and how you can share those reports with other individuals. So I'll click save. And then I'm going to show you guys how to build a dashboard now. So I'm going to click into the dashboards tab now along the top of my page. And again, I could look through recent ones, I could look through folders and things like that. But for right now, I'm just going to click new dashboard and we're going to build out something new. I'm going to call this sample pipeline dashboard. And again, we'll keep it in private folders for right now. So when you first build a dashboard, we've actually built this out right now, but there's nothing on it. So I'm going to show you guys how to add a report chart to your dashboard and how you can kind of customize that. So all you'll do is select to add a component. You'll select the report that you just worked with or whatever report you want to use. And then you're going to be taken to a screen similar to what we had when we were building out the report chart on the report. You just have some different options now. So one thing I'll mention first is that a really easy tool is that you can just check this box here and it's going to pull over that report chart directly from the report we just built. Now, if you wanted to change it up or customize it a little bit more, you can uncheck that box and we can kind of build this out exactly how we would like. So I'm going to uncheck that box. And again, I'm just going to kind of build this out. So I'll build a funnel here. I'm going to choose what types of numbers I want to display. I'll keep it at short number, color by stage. I can click these boxes again to show certain values. And then I'll just scroll down and say, okay, how do I want to sort this? So I want to go ahead and sort this by stage. That's perfect because that shows me a good pipeline in order of those stages as things move through that pipeline. And then again, I can choose max values displayed. So I'm going to choose that I want to see all of my stages, not limit that to 6 or so. You can title that report and then add subtitles, footers, anything like that. And then you can even choose the color scheme of what that report chart's going to look like. Once I feel good about what I've set up, I can just click add and it's going to add it to that, that dashboard itself. You can come in here and change the sizes. You can drag and drop and move it around the page however you would like. You can go in here and add additional components with other reports. And if I do that, let's say I just add another one in here, I can go ahead and make this look nice. I can orient things how I would like. And then once you're done and once you're happy with how that dashboard itself looks, all you have to do is click save to save the changes you've made, and then click done, and you'll see a view of what that dashboard actually looks like. Now, the last thing I'll walk you all through, and obviously this is it's pretty quick and it's a pretty high level, and there will be more questions that you all will have. That's just the basics. But I do want to touch on one more thing, and that's just sharing these reports and dashboards. So I will show you guys how to share a report here. So if I click into reports, you can see that the report is currently in the private reports folder. What that means is that only you will have access to that report. It's in your own private folder. But let's say I wanted a team member to be able to see this. It's pretty easy. You're actually going to share reports by sharing the folders that they're in. So you can't actually share this specific report. You have to change the folder that it's in and then share that folder with somebody else. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder here. Let's call this Out on Tap, Shared Reports. I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to go ahead and share this folder with all users in the system. So I could share it with specific users if I wanted to. I could search for a user and I could share it with Michael, or I can search for a public group. So I'm going to choose to share this one with all internal users. And then I also get to choose what access I want to give them. So I can allow them to view the report, edit it, manage it if they want to share it with other individuals or things like that. And then the last thing, I always want to make sure that I do click this share button to actually share it with those individuals. And you'll see it pop up down here once it is shared. So I can save that. But there is still one more step because we've created the folder and we've shared the folder, but there's not any reports in it at the moment. So I'm going to go back to my recent reports and I can see this is still in the private reports folder. All I have to do is click this drop down and click move. And I'm going to go ahead and move that to the Cloud on Tap shared reports folder. And you can see that update right here. So what that means is because every internal user has access to Cloud on Tap shared reports, they're all going to be able to go in here and view this report. Now, the same applies for dashboards. I'm not going to go in and rework through all of that, but you can see that it's in a private folder right now. All you would have to do is create a new folder, share that folder, and then move the dashboard into that folder. So that about wraps it up for reporting. I'm sure you'll have more questions and the team can kind of help you out with that, but that's just a good high level overview.